Ladies and gents, polish those shoes and crank the gramophone. It's time to dive headfirst into the decade that danced like no one was watching, the Roaring Twenties. Now we got flappers and fringe and bootleg gin, jasmine blowing as the night rolls in. From Harlem Nights to Hollywood gold, stories untold, scandal and bold. We regret nothing. We're talking swing, we're talking sass, top hats, headlines, and backstage pass.
Welcome back to We Regret Nothing. I'm your host, Sean. Today we've hit the grand finale of our deep dive into the music of the Roaring Twenties. Over the last two episodes, we built our list of the top 10 songs of the decade, songs that define jazz, blues, and the spirit of an era. But now comes the tough part. Andrea and Michelle and me have to whittle that list down to just 5 songs worthy of being sealed in our time capsule for the stars. Get ready for heated debate, tough cuts, and some surprising saves as we decide which tracks truly represent the soundtrack of the 1920s. Welcome, Michelle.
Hello.
Welcome, Andrea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's start with our list of top 10. Again, in no particular order. The Kansas City Stomp, Jelly Roll Morton. That was a last-minute addition in our category of You Get One, presented by Michelle. We'll do a deeper dive into that song to start this episode off. But next, Rhapsody in Blue, Charleston, I'm Sitting on Top of the World, Sweet Georgia Brown, Dinah, the Louis Armstrong version, April Showers, Babyface, Yes, We Have No Bananas, and Crazy Blues. Let's go back to the top of the list. We're going to start with Kansas City Stomp. This is a jazz standard by Jelly Roll Morton, first recorded in 1923. It has been described as one of Jelly Roll's happiest pieces. Michelle brought this up on the last episode, but we need to double down, I think. This is actually named for a bar called the Kansas City Bar in Tijuana. So in 1921, Jelly Roll Morton established himself in the Los Angeles area. He assembled a group to play gigs all over Southern California, which extended into Tijuana. The band performed at Kansas City Bar in Tijuana, and his experience at the bar inspired him to compose the Kansas City Stomp. Side note, he also wrote a song, The Pearls, which was another jazz tune for one of the waitresses at the bar. I want to just talk a little bit about Morton himself. So actually recorded this tune in Richmond, Indiana on July 18th, 1923. And the song was later inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2010. But let's just talk about this guy, Ferdinand Joseph Lamont, who was born somewhere around 1840.
No one is sure.
No one is sure.
Including Jelly Roll.
At the age of 14, Ferdinand Lamont began playing piano in a brothel. He often sang smutty lyrics and started using the nickname Jelly Roll, which was African-American slang for female genitalia. I had to look that up. It is indeed, it is referring to the vulva. That is a jelly roll. The cornetist Rex Stewart recalled that Morton had chosen this nom de plume to protect his family from disgrace if he was ever identified as a whorehouse professor. I would love that title. But while he was working at the brothel, he was also living with his church-going great-grandmother. He convinced her that he was working as a night watchman in a barrel factory. After Morton's grandmother found out he was actually playing music in a brothel, she disowned him. Quote from him, "When my grandmother found out that I was playing jazz in one of the sporting houses in the district, she told me that I had disgraced the family and she forbade me to live at the house. She told me that devil music would surely be my downfall." Around 1904, Morton started touring the U.S. South, working in minstrel shows. From 1912 to 1914, Morton toured with his girlfriend Rosa Brown as a vaudeville act. before they moved to Chicago for 3 years. By 1914, Jelly Roll Morton was putting his compositions on paper. In 15, Jelly Roll Blues was one of the first jazz compositions to be published. In 35, Morton moves to Washington, D.C., becomes a manager and piano player at a bar called the Music Box. In 1938, Morton was stabbed by a friend of the Music Box owner and suffered wounds to the head and chest. Nearby whites only hospital refused to treat him. And so he had to be transported to a black hospital, which was much further away. He arrives at the hospital, and the doctors just put ice on his wounds for several hours before attending to his injury. So he died in 41, but from respiratory problems, which arguably came from the incident. Didn't want to end it on a downer. Again, a side note, very uneducated, unvarnished Sean went with Andrea to go see this. Is that
Jelly's Last Jam?
Jelly's Last Jam, and I didn't appreciate because I just didn't want to go to the theater. I don't know. I'd like to think I've evolved, but have it to do over again, I probably would have enjoyed that.
You definitely would enjoy it.
I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more today than I did then. I was a real poopy pants. But anyway, Michelle, you introduced this. So what are your thoughts on Kansas City Stomp?
Like I said, when I introduced it, it sounds very New Orleans to me. It sounds, it's a soundtrack, and it sounds of the time. I was going to add to your little bio here is that because Jelly Roll is not sure exactly when he was born, and no one else is either. Like the records were destroyed, or he didn't have his birth certificate. I can't remember the exact, but he did not do himself any favors in the community of musicians because he claimed that he invented this sound, and people who were like, you can't possibly be old enough to have, right? Mm-hmm. So there was a lot, and he went to his grave basically thinking he was the king of like the ragtime jazz sound. And I think he immensely popular, but not probably as popular as he would have been had he maybe just chilled a little bit on that. I'm the king of this thing. Yeah, pull back. Arguably, one of them. All his stuff is so good, but I don't know why, but he really didn't do himself any favors with that. I just love the sound of it. I love. I'm a big lyrics person, and anytime a song that is just instrumental gets me excited, then I know it has to be good for me. My criteria, and I love this one.
Andrea,
I don't really have a lot of. I love it. I've loved it. I love it. I didn't have a you get one for music. I don't know why, but I'm sorry. I was not told there'd be a pop quiz.
But except you were. Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Michelle. We appreciate your patronage. But I would like to adopt this as this would have been my you get one.
Oh, I don't think that's how this works.
Yep,
just like high school, everybody's copying off Michelle.
Not me.
Not you.
Not me.
Okay, so let's keep this moving. Number 2, Rhapsody in Blue. We went pretty long on this. I want to just highlight some of the conversation and then dive into a different topic, which I do this to y'all. This is at least the second, if not third time that I do this nonsense. So I'm not going to apologize because I regret nothing. But this song, the organizer and band leader Paul Whiteman wanted to show how jazz and classical music could come together. So he commissioned a new work by a 25-year-old Jewish American upstart named George Gershwin to showcase at Whiteman's concert called An Experiment in Modern Music. Gershwin's contribution to the program was this song, Rhapsody in Blue, which would go on to exceed everyone's wildest expectations and become one of the best-known works of the 20th century. Beyond the concert hall, it would appear in iconic films such as Woody Allen's Manhattan, Disney's Fantasia 2000. I don't think I mentioned this the first time around. It was performed during the opening ceremonies of the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. I did mention that. And if you ever flew on United Airlines, you'll hear it playing during the pre-flight safety video. My research said United Airlines, but so here's the other part. So we talked about the 5 weeks, whatever the circumstances were. I actually, not that I'm some kind of detective on this, but I was able to come up with evidence that I feel pretty confident in, that there's manuscript evidence that suggests Gershwin actually only worked 10 days over the span of 5 weeks on this.
Oh, he like the last 10 days before
No,
it was due?
he was actually busy. So we had talked about the 5 weeks. Michelle brought up why he only had 5 weeks. Yeah. So I again, there was 5 weeks for him to write this, but he only spent a total of 10 days over those 5 weeks writing this song.
Because he would have been writing.
He was writing other things. There were a couple of concerts, but there's actually pretty well documented evidence of what he was doing over the whole span, but specifically those 5 weeks.
Then that's even fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazier and far more, I would say, impressive for the piece of art that came from it. But that leads to a couple of other things that I found, just opinions, articles, and then one really interesting tie-in. So he only had 10 days over the span of 5 weeks. Go ahead, Michelle.
I was going to say, but did he write it all himself? Is that where we're going?
No, not so much, not as much. He wrote it.
Oh, no.
But because of the amount of time that he had, he relied on familiar melodies, harmonies, rhythms, and musical structures that he had heard and learned elsewhere. And so
did he sample or plagiarize?
Neither. I mean, he was influenced by early jazz. Okay. Jazz is the improvised, syncopated, blues-infused sound of Black musicians, such as Louis Armstrong. Some of the great, Michelle had talked about stride pianists, James P. Johnson, Willie the Lion Smith. And so I came across, and this is just an article written by, I want to give him credit, Raul Benegale, who's a associate professor and chair of music at Colorado College. But just asking the question, did Gershwin appropriate Black music? And whether or not he did, the tie-in is fascinating. And I did go and look this up and watched the clip. But in 1929, blues artist Bessie Smith starred in a short film called St. Louis Blues, based on the song. So that song was on our list originally. This movie features an all-Black cast, including members of the Fletcher Henderson Orchestra and the Hall Johnson Choir. Instrumental and vocal versions of handy songs provide the sonic backdrop for this 15-minute film, with one very pointed exception. Smith plays the part of Bessie, an unrequited lover to a duplicitous gambler named Jimmy. In the final scene of this movie, after a previous falling out, Jimmy and Bessie reconcile in a club. They embrace on the dance floor to the music of the song St. Louis Blues. Unbeknownst to the love-struck Bessie, Jimmy carefully picks her pocket and then unmercifully shoves her back to a bar stool. After Jimmy flashes his newly acquired bankroll, the opening clarinet glissando of Rhapsody in Blue begins to play. During the brief 20-second cue, Jimmy boastfully backs out of the club, bowing and tipping his hat like a performer acknowledging an ovation. Could be said the subtext is by introducing Gershwin's famous piece, and the most famous piece of the piece, the glissando, just as Jimmy had robbed Bessie, this film suggests that Gershwin may have pilfered jazz from the Black community. Michelle has a look.
Well, that doesn't make him special because everyone's been doing it since the dawn of time.
I always hate that.
But that's crazy. I didn't need to know that.
I said in the beginning, I found it interesting that we had talked about St. Louis Blues. And
Bessie history the way we like it.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Oh, is that?
Listen, to Michelle's point, I think that Black artists had a hard time during this time and forward getting things done without white people. And I don't mean that they couldn't do it. I mean the system was set up against them. So we talked about Jolson and how Jolson tried to help Black artists, but along the way, uh, also having their work appropriated and used. And again, I don't know. I'm not saying that Rhapsody in Blue should be off the list. I just thought that was a really interesting question and tie-in for this song. So, any thoughts about
No, you just threw it on us.
No, it's very interesting, and I bet it's true.
that, Andrea? I can hear that comment was just dripping with you. Okay.
No, it's making me disappointed. If it's true,
Well, then we're gonna have a lot of trouble later on.
yeah, we're gonna have so
We're
much.
gonna have a lot of trouble later on if we can't figure out a way to be like, oh, that's stolen
Yeah.
in a lot of categories, because we're gonna come across that.
Yeah, and I mean, I've looked at this podcast and all the research that y'all do. I try to do as I'm learning history. It's pop culture history,
Yeah.
but I'm learning about all of these things, and it's a very fine line to walk of learning, the history of all of this, the backstory, and some of the things that aren't great that go on with some of these things as well. But I don't think that I don't want to go too hard on it, but I don't want to ignore it either. I don't know if that makes sense.
That. I
You
do
know?
appreciate that very much. Okay. I got you, boo.
Okay. Number 3, the song Charleston. Interestingly enough, it's 2 years past now, I guess, but 2023 marked the centennial of the publication of the Charleston. The tune, dance, and rhythm that came to define the decade of the 20s for some. It was written by James P. Johnson. I already mentioned him, the father of stride piano, for his stage show Runnin' Wild that opened on Broadway in October of 23. Although this was not the first tune to use the city in its name or the first to incorporate the rhythm, that intoxicating kind of rhythm, along with the dance it accompanied. But this music had been working its way through the African American community for decades before this got laid down. It took a little time, though, to get it right, the trifecta of tune, rhythm, and dance. And that's where I think, we saw with Charleston, and ignited a worldwide cultural phenomenon that some would say is unparalleled in popular music history. But and then even 100 years later, I don't know that they're, oh, I'm doing it. Why did I write it this way? There's just a better song to represent.
Is Sean breaking the rules, Andrea?
No, that seems odd. Sean, just pump the
Oh.
brakes there.
Man, okay, this podcast is over. But this song and the dance, I mean, I tried really hard to separate the two because we're talking about the song, but I couldn't do it. Separating the song and the dance.
It's called the Charleston.
Right. And so the Charleston was influential in the evolution to the jitterbug, the Lindy Hop. So all of these other things that came from the dance, which came from the song.
Yeah.
But any thoughts on the Charleston?
No.
Yeah, I don't know that you can really separate the two, and therefore
So I like after you two beat me up for the other thing.
that we agreed with
feel
you.
better now.
Yes.
So thank
They
you.
named the candy bar after it.
Thank you.
Is that true?
Okay.
Stop.
I was
Okay.
joking before. This podcast is over.
I
This
didn't
is
do it.
This is the end. Okay.
It's Charleston too.
Song number 4. Yes, we have no bananas. This song originated from a 1922 encounter between songwriters Frank Silver and Irving Cohn, between them and a Greek fruit stand owner on Long Island, who repeatedly started his sentences with yes. And so what was interesting is that the belief is that the Greek fruit stand owner would never answer a question or start a sentence with a negative. So no matter what he was saying, he would always say yes. And so when they say, "Do you have bananas?" he would say, "Yes, we have no bananas," because he would not say no.
Yeah.
But we talked about this. This was really more of a parody song, or led to a lot of parodies. And then there was this. It became a catchphrase, and the basis for a novelty song introduced by Eddie Cantor in the Broadway review "Make It Snappy." Became a number one hit in 1923. So I think Michelle just said, I just like the thought of the Greek fruit stand owner just saying yes to everything.
It's cute.
It is cute.
Can I have this for free? Yes, you must pay for that. Things along that line. So yes, we have no bananas. Anything?
No, I think
it's just a little
yeah.
ditty. It's I don't know why I go from yes, we have no banana, like whenever it's in my head, into we have crab legs, sea galley. Which I'm like, that's not a what?
This whole thing is falling apart. Okay, number 5. Number 5, Sweet Georgia Brown. And we talked quite a bit about this. I do want to circle back to some of these points, but just as a sports anthem, every now and then there's a sports anthem, that emerges that just transcends the fame of its creators and becomes a universal symbol of something bigger, something greater. And to me, this is just personal, but that's this song.
Yeah.
I brought it up before. It's the Harlem Gold, and I know that the
Brother Bones and his Shadows.
That's the song that I think of.
Yeah.
When I think of the Globetrotters and everything that goes with it. But
that's the version we know from being kids.
Yes. So just a little bit of the history of the song. Written in 1925, it was a collaboration between lyricist Kenneth Casey, band leader Ben Burney. That's a tough one. I know.
Yeah.
And composer Maceo Pinkard. We talked about these guys, but just the intriguing history of all three of these. Bernie was a major star during the early radio era. Casey was one of the first child stars in U.S. cinema, and Pinkard is the first owner of I chopped that off for some reason, but black owner of a music publishing company in the United States, the first black owner. And so Pinkard, born in 1897 in West Virginia, by 1950, so just 1 year after graduating high school, had already written the blues standard "I'm Going Back Home." One year out of high school. And then continued to produce throughout the 20s. The songs "Sugar," "Rose of Washington Square," and "Them Their Eyes." "Them Their Eyes" became a staple for Billie Holiday and countless other jazz singers over the years. And then Pinkard also led a touring orchestra, composed a stage review called Liza. And
Z?
What's it? Yeah, Liza. And is believed to be the first black owner of a music publishing company. Of all of Pinkard's accomplishment, though, none has endured quite like "Sweet Georgia Brown," though the version most people know today differs significantly from its original form. When it's performed as an instrumental piece, the original lyrics celebrated. When it's not in an instrumental piece, the original lyrics celebrated Georgia Brown, a new gal in town who had the men raving about her, and Michelle.
Fellers she can't get are fellas she ain't met.
The
best.
I love that one. I really love that one.
Queen.
And Bernie topped the charts with the original recording of this song in 1925. Bing Crosby covered it in 1932 and it reached number 2. And again, since then, it's become a standard in pop and jazz. The song has been covered by many artists, including Cab Calloway, Carol Burnett, Sarah Vaughan, Louis Jordan, Jerry Lee Lewis, Ray Charles, the Beatles before they were famous, Charlie Parker, and Dizzy Gillespie. And so anything I left off, any thoughts about "Sweet Georgia Brown"?
No.
Number
Anything, Robin?
6. I'm sitting on top of the world. I don't have any notes really to add to the song other than in trying to do research, I'm not the only one, thankfully, but it keeps getting confused with a song called "Sitting on Top of the World."
Looking
So
down on creation.
That one.
And the only, yeah.
that's the one. And so I'm sitting on top of the world separates it to the 1920s standard versus sitting on top of the world. But I mean, that's really not much of a really information. So anything about I'm sitting on top of the world.
It wasn't really memorable.
Memorable.
I mean, again, when we, this song is short and sweet. I love it. I like it.
But
It's a less affected Al Jolson sound than some of the others, which is something I quite appreciated, because when he was just singing without the, you know, he sounded great, and so
like I said, Al Jolson, you jaunty motherfucker.
yes,
That was in my notes for
we're gonna
this
get
week.
shirts.
We're gonna
get shirts made.
We should get shirts made.
Merch.
but we're gonna come back to that.
We have.
We're gonna come back to that statement. I want you to put a pin in that and remember it. Nothing crazy like I brought it before. This is more of a personal thing.
Okay.
To Al Jolson, you jaunty motherfucker, you. But next 7 is Dinah, and we were very specific about the Louis Armstrong version of this. And I went back and I watched it originally, but then I watched it after we had that discussion about this, and it was just really good. And it's helpful to watch the video of him, because as the song's playing, the way that he moves, everything about Louis Armstrong in that video for me was just like
Joyful.
Yeah, he's just he's moving,
and he plays like an angel. Like the sounds are so.
And in the original version, Michelle talked about this. The lyrics to this are annoying, I guess. I just, and I'm trying to remember them. I didn't write them down.
No, that was I said that about the Bessie. Sorry, I was at the dentist today. No, because that's when I said, was she going to say Ocean Lina?
Like that was Andrea. Sorry,
that was me.
Gave Michelle.
Remember, I'm the hater.
Credit.
She's the fruit.
Those are the t-shirts. Hater and the fruit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll take 2.
Again, the watching Louis Armstrong do this version.
Yeah.
I like listening to it too, but watching it was just another level for me. I really enjoyed that. So, anything else? Okay.
I'll interject here. I am going to hate when we have to narrow this down.
I know.
Oh, it's coming. My favorite
I
part
know.
of every third episode is coming. So let's get back to Al Jolson, you jaunty motherfucker, you, because number 8 is April Showers.
Love it.
So I listened to the Al Jolson version, and it makes me sad. It is and so I couldn't figure out. So then I read the lyrics, and I was like, wait, what is going on? This song is hopeful and inspiring to me, but not when Al Jolson sings it. So then I went back and listened to the Bing Crosby version of it, and I was happy. I really liked it. So
You just wanted to come his own.
Well, no, I mean, again, listen. I wrote these lyrics down. These aren't, all of them, but listen to this. Though April showers may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. So if it's raining, have no regrets, because it isn't raining rain, it's raining violets. And where you see clouds upon the hills, you soon will see the crowds of daffodils. So keep on looking for a bluebird and listening for its song wherever April showers come along.
Yeah.
It's a happy, inspiring
Yeah.
song. And when you're playing with the
jaunty motherfucker.
He made me sing it, and it brought me down.
It's funny you bring that up about Bing Crosby, though, because I have heard Bing Crosby sing it, but Bing Crosby just has a freaking way. Bing Crosby has a way, like when he sings about freaking sandwiches and milk.
Well, then, can we just say, can we give a big shout out to the unsung heroes, no pun intended, of music, which are the arrangers, the people who arrange songs. The reason the Al Jolson song makes you sad and the Bing Crosby song doesn't is because somebody arranged that song to sound audibly to
Yeah.
sound the way it sounds because the lyrics, Sean, the lyrics are the same.
They don't change. Both of those people sang these same lyrics, and they are very different to my ears.
Yeah.
Big ups to Rangers.
Yeah.
Is that an actual job? Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what they're called, Rangers?
Yeah.
Didn't
Yes,
know
yes,
anything about it, but whoever they are on these two songs, thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm
Because
telling
one
you.
makes me sad and one makes me happy.
That's what
And
that
that's
is.
crazy.
I'm gonna get so much shit for this that I'm about to say, but no, I know what you're saying because freaking Umbrella. You know me with Umbrella. The Rihanna version, it just puts me like singing in the rain, happy. No, Sean, not the fucking
The
Glee
Glee,
mashup.
the Glee
Sean?
mashup. Okay, sorry.
But then the Mandy Moore version of that song is so heartbreakingly like
Arrangement.
it's yeah.
That's what it
And we're
is.
back to Rangers.
That's,
Yeah.
yes, people.
Not the
Very
fucking
interesting
Glee.
to me. What,
Ryan
Andrea?
You and
Listen, that Glee version is amazing. Okay.
anything with Gwyneth Paltrow where she survives is not fun for me.
And thank you, Hater. Number 9, Babyface. Babyface is a popular Tin
Babyface
Pan
is-
Alley jazz song. The music was written by Harry Axt
I just like you.
I love your over pronunciation.
with lyrics by Benny Davis. This song was published in 1926. The first recording of it was by Jan Garber and his orchestra, which featured lyricist Benny Davis singing the chorus, only the chorus. Record was a number 1 hit in 1926. Anything else? Babyface.
It's a catchy tune. I prefer it. I don't know. I don't dislike this, but I'm not like it. It doesn't say 30s to me or 20s. It says 30s. It really does. Sorry, that was mine. I told you, dentist. But yeah, not really. No, I got nothing. I'm Robin Gibb. No.
Michelle.
I don't really have anything to add. I mean, I think it does sound like the Times, but it's one of those songs where, how dare, I'm sorry, what was his name again? Sean Harry.
Axt.
I'm just fucking with you. I just wanted you to say it again. I don't really have anything else to add. Ooh, I think it got hot in here.
It's not a hot flashes, man.
I'll flip this table over.
No.
Warm out. All right, number 10, Crazy Blues. So this, I'll come to the lyrics last because I listened to the song, obviously, but then I looked at the lyrics and
Is it? I
so
said, I told you.
Sung by Mamie Smith, nee Robinson. So Robinson was born in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1891. When she was around age 10, she was 10 years old, she found work touring with the Four Dancing Mitchells, which was a white act.
With that name.
Four Dancing Mitchells, that was very white. As a teenager, she danced in Salem Tut Whitney's Smart Set. In 1913, she left the Tut Brothers to sing in clubs in Harlem. There, married William Smitty, who was a singer. On February 14th, 1920, Smith recorded that thing called Love and You Can't Keep a Good Man Down for OK Label in New York. After African-American songwriter and bandleader Perry Bradford, persuaded Frank Hager to break the color barrier in black music recording. OK Records went on to record many iconic songs by black musicians. Although this was the first recording by a black blues singer, the backing musicians were all white. Hager received threats from both northern and southern pressure groups saying they would boycott the company if he recorded a black singer. Despite those threats, the record was a commercial success and opened the door for more black musicians to record. Let me just read the first, what would you call that? Verse. Oh my goodness, I lost the word.
I had stanzas stuck in my head and I knew that wasn't
I can't sleep at night. I can't eat a bite because the man I love don't treat me right. He makes me feel so blue. I don't know what to do. Sometimes I sit and sigh and then begin to cry because my best friend said his last goodbye. It's heartbreaking. Now, oh, well, shooting cops and laying on
You better hope you find him first.
I left those out, but I guess we're talking about it. There was a line in there about laying her head on the railroad tracks.
But then she thought about her dad, and she thought, I don't want to do that. My daddy would be upset.
And then, so got some revenge. So, lyrics, powerful, but to Michelle's point earlier. Anything else about Crazy Blues other than these lyrics?
No, I like it. That is like the known recordings of this, that even the mastered ones still have like that wicked crackle in them.
Yeah.
I love that pop. Love it. The sound. I'm not voting yet.
Well, we're about to.
You've already done that.
Oh God! Here it comes.
I don't know why I wrote it that way.
I kind of love that, and I'm gonna kind of bring it up repeatedly. I might wake you up at 3:22 this morning and say, "Do you remember that time that you said that thing?"
I'll be choosing.
Okay, now to the fun part. We got to get this down to the top 5. So we are looking for the top 5 songs that best represent the decade of the 1920s. We've given a lot of information. Y'all have offered a lot of insight and opinions, but now it's where the rubber meets the road.
Did you just get my stomach growling?
I did not.
Okay, that was all this.
Number 1, Kansas City Stomp, Jelly Roll Morton.
I say yes.
Michelle says yes.
I say yes.
It says yes. Okay.
You owe me another musical. You.
I owe you a lot more than that.
Oh.
Rhapsody in Blue. Andrea?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Okay. This isn't so hard, is it?
It's about to be.
Michelle, Charleston.
I say yes.
Andrea?
Oh yay! Oh yay!
Andrea, we're doing the song, not the movie from 19...
They danced the Charleston in 1946, but it was set 1919. Was it 1919 when Harry graduated?
Oh.
Yeah, because then they go. Yeah.
Oh. Hoisted on my own.
Oh wait, no, it's 23. That's why it's out. It had just come out because George graduated in 1919, but then he had to wait 4 years.
Andrea, music of the 1920s. Okay, so I am sitting on top of the world. Andrea.
As long as you are not in the Beverly. No, I say no.
Michelle.
I need to come back to this one,
Come back
please.
to that. Let me make it. Oh boy. Let me make a note. Okay. Michelle, Sweet Georgia Brown.
Absolutely.
Andrea.
Yep.
So we have 4.
I have 4.
We have 4.
Well, I'm thinking about one, but yes.
Okay. Dinah.
Oh, God.
Louis Armstrong.
No. I think that there's other.
Okay.
This was not easy.
Okay.
It's not like I just made this list like 32 minutes ago.
Wow.
I'm going to say no, but I don't want to.
Okay.
We don't want to.
Okay.
But there's
Poop.
There's poop. I don't like that.
Michelle, April Showers.
No.
I said yes.
I knew it.
Michelle, just a satchel. Oh, okay.
Okay. Michelle, Babyface.
No.
Andrea.
No.
Andrea, yes, we have no bananas.
No. Yes.
Michelle.
No.
Yes. No.
No.
So we're both saying no to
Yeah,
that.
I'm saying no. It's
Okay.
super
It's
cute.
adorable.
But, yeah.
And
Made it through the whole thing without.
Michelle, Crazy Blues.
This is where my dilemma is choosing between I'm Sitting on Top of the World and this one. That's my dilemma.
Okay.
I'm solid with the other four. Well, let's see what Andrea says. Oh, you already have 5.
I have 5.
Shit.
I think you mean poop.
No, I mean shit.
What are the 2 you're going back and forth over?
I'm Sitting on Top of the
Crazy
World.
Blues, I'm Sitting on Top of the World.
So do I have to do? I should do what you did last time, right? Which is now I'm not choosing. I'm choosing between the 2.
Yes.
I will choose. I could sway towards Crazy Blues away from April Showers.
I think that's. I say yes to Crazy Blues and no to I'm
And
Sitting
that
on
would
Top of the
change
World.
your vote from.
From April Showers to Crazy
This
Blues.
wasn't as fun.
I just want to say I should be a diplomat. Like,
I
think when people are like,
You can't even keep a straight face.
I don't know if any.
You know
if
that.
you're not watching this, Sean's head whipped like Linda Blair to look at Andrea when she said, "I should be a diplomat."
I should.
Okay, so listen, y'all, you did it.
We did it! Yay!
So here's our top 5 songs
Oh no, I didn't like that.
to
kid.
put into a capsule and shoot into space. When the aliens find it, they'll get a sense of what the decade, the 1920s, was based on this music. Kansas City Stomp, Rhapsody in Blue, Charleston, Sweet Georgia Brown, Crazy Blues.
Yeah, that's
our
yeah.
5.
I can live with that.
I will say, well done to both of you.
Thank you.
I think
to you.
that list.
That was tough. That was my toughest.
Yeah, but I really that top 5 it really encapsulates the 20s musically. And
I feel like it was harder to go from the 20 to the 10.
Yeah.
And then when I looked at the 10, I was like, oh, there's some easily I think I could pop off here, but there were, but I feel good about this one.
good.
Yeah.
Good. And hopefully you're still having fun.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're having fun or not. You're both so good at this. You're going to keep doing it. So I'm having fun. And so that's what matters. But I really appreciate all of the work that you put into this. Again, music, not my, I don't want to speak for Andrea, but this is not my forte.
No.
And so we lean on Michelle for the music part.
Yes.
I learned about a brand new job in music. And so arrangers.
Yes, often the producer is also the arranger or the artist is also the arranger, but it is a real,
You'll see it on liner notes,
Yeah.
like arrangement by.
a real job.
So for any of you listeners that are still with us, don't forget, if you haven't already, check us out on our socials, TikTok, InstaFace. I have to be serious. Sorry, TikTok, Instagram. You can watch this on YouTube or on Spotify.
We're on Blue Sky too, right?
And Blue Sky. Thank you, Andrea. You're like an evil villain. You're like a Bond villain right now.
I am.
Petting your cat.
I
And,
am.
Her name is the Diplomat.
it is not.
The Diplomat.
You know what? I mean, if we're going to take the character further, she is the diplomat. But if you don't agree with her ideas, she throws you to the sharks with lasers on their heads.
Yeah.
So, again, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, follow the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. I really do encourage, I mean it when I say, reach out to us on Blue Sky and just tell us how crazy we are or how maybe
wrong.
Michelle and I are wrong. Maybe that Andrea is the diplomat. I don't know.
Yes.
Whatever. And I'm going to start a new one, though. My handle will be Whorehouse Professor because that's the title.
Yeah, as opposed to Professor Whorehouse, which is an entirely different job.
Yeah, that is not what I'm going for. So, as always, Thank you, everybody, and take care of yourselves. Until next week, we'll see you then.